What's going on, everybody? Hawk, listen, man. I was thinking today, and I've been thinking about something. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
So,
yes, something's on your mind?
yeah. So, so,
Okay.
so, it hit me today, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
today is day 2, right,
Right, yeah,
of
sure.
the PGCQ number 2,
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
and we've got 2 casters.
Yeah, right, too.
We've got 2 teams lined up, right? You know what day it is today, by the way?
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Exactly. It's Tuesday. Both of the teams we have gone 2-0, right?
Yeah.
And without giving away too much, this is these teams' second time facing off against each other.
Oh, Echo, I am so excited for this rematch.
Me too, man. Let's get right into it.
What are we thinking?
Oh man, I think first off we have to acknowledge that there are going to be some roster change-ups for both of these teams here, because both teams are going to have emergency substitutes in the jungle position. And
Healthy, the hero of yesterday, up against Maryville. He's not even needed to do nearly as much this time, but they are landing some chains on, and Dunk's trying to do as much as he can. Flux into the backline, diving through, and the Krugs are getting involved in this one. Goo going on an absolute rampage, and they're trying to make something for it.
It's been that Goo has gone crazy inside of these games. The game is going to be over. Oh my goodness, Cincinnati Fear, you have absolutely astonished us.
Absolutely, I cannot believe both games ended shy of 30 minutes in favor Cincinnati Fear with their first 2-0. An absolute shocker of an upset.
The rematch clause is rock solid.
Nigga Dragoon next, healing a whole lot, has to go gold, but so much damage coming up from Blaze, and he's gonna get the triple. Can he get the quad here though? He might just find it. He's looking for it. He's running him down. Azog over the wall with the flicky glide, but it doesn't matter. A quad, come on, Blaze, end it right here, right now. They're chasing him down, and Flux is gonna give him the pentakill. Goodbye and good night.
Aaron is still on the bottom side. He's looking for another gank right now. No flashes.
Caught on the ward, but he's just gonna flash forward. Deep Learning is so low, and that is first blood picked up for the young jungler of Jake's Kittens, and that's a double as well. There goes Duo Selena. There goes 2.
That is right, everybody. We've got Jake's Kittens going up against Cincinnati Fear today, but what's going on, everybody? I'm Echo K, and I'm joined by the one and only my eyes in the sky for all things Rift related. Hawk, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. As you said, we've got the rematch on deck of the quarterfinals from PGCQ number 1. It is going to be Jake's Kittens up against Cincinnati Fear here on this first game of the second day of the open qualifiers. But if you're wondering, what all this means, open qualifiers, PGCQ number 1, and you're not in the loop, take a look at this quick video that Deserex put together explaining the format.
Welcome to the Summer Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier presented by Unify. 32 teams will compete in a 5-round Swiss Open Qualifier to decide who will advance to the 16-team group stage. The Swiss format matches teams with the same record against each other as the rounds progress. This means in round 2, the 1-0 teams will play each other, while the 0-1 teams will do battle, and so on. The 16 teams to reach 3 wins by the end of round 5 will move on to the group stage, where they'll be seeded based on their results in the Swiss. Each group will play in a best-of-3 double elimination bracket to decide who will advance to the playoff stage. The playoffs will be single elimination best-of-3 matches up until the grand final best-of-5 series. Teams will earn points based on their overall performance. Here's how the numbers break down. The top 10 amateur teams across both of the Proving Ground Circuit qualifiers will qualify for the Proving Grounds. Which of these aspiring champions will rise to the top in the summer of 2022? Come see for yourself.
That's right. Thank you so much for that, Deserex. And we are about to find out indeed. Now, it is day number 2, if you haven't already noticed somehow. So that also means there was a day 1 actually yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, make sure to do that after this stream, obviously. And overall, we had some great matches over there. We started off with the return of the Kings themselves, right? No org. Bit of a banger, dare I say, Hawk.
Oh, yeah, man. No Org coming in hot. They're one of those teams sitting up there at 2-0. And remember, as the format video said, 3 wins is your golden ticket to the top 16, to the main stage of the tournament. So that means for these 8 teams up at 2-0, you win 1 out of 3 games today, and you are into the next stage. After that, all you have to play for is championship points and seeding. But that also means that nobody is yet eliminated. Even the teams down at 0-2 can still have that 3-0 run here on day 2 to get that coveted 3 wins. We saw it from CLG Faith in the last tournament. It could happen again, and the matches for today are sure to be good. As we said on the main stream here on Academy, Cincinnati Fear up against Jake's Kittens, the rematch of the quarterfinals that maybe didn't go as some people planned, but make sure you check out all the other matches as well. There's all kinds of streams over on Path to LCS. No Org is taking on Maryville University. That is also sure to be a good one. And Echo, oh, it's so exciting. I always love OQs because we're getting to see some of these top teams play at the very beginning of the tournament. I mean, like we said, this is a quarterfinals rematch on day 2.
Yeah, exactly. These 2 teams already went head-to-head once in our last, not OQs, but our last Proving Grounds, right? And actually, it was Jake's Kittens that got knocked out during the quarterfinals from Cincinnati Fear. They sent him home packing. I still remember to this day that meme that Cincinnati Fear posted with the Reaper, right, knocking on all those doors and just boom, taking them out left and right. So obviously, you know, there's going to be some revenge here. Well, we don't know, but definitely the side of Jake Kittens, they want some revenge.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And Jake's Kittens, let's not forget, they came into the last tournament as one of the favorites to win the entire thing. They were very highly touted as a roster, and they looked red hot coming into this matchup. Virtually every analyst picked Jake's Kittens to win that series, except for Travesty. Travesty was the biggest Cincinnati Fear fan on the broadcast the entire way. Shout out, Travie. But that just goes to show that Cincinnati Fear, they pulled out a bit of an upset. They didn't look as good up until that point, and then they struck a hammer in that series, and they showed everybody that they were here to play, and they made a run all the way to the finals. And to your point, yeah, Jake's Kittens, they want to prove, even here in the open qualifiers, that they are still that tournament favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that picture down in the bottom corner, right? It's like, you see just all the cats with the sunglasses, right? The logo. It's literally only Travesty was the big brain in the room.
And on the
like,
desk,
nah.
It was all Jake's Kittens. All 3 of us predicted Jake's Kittens on the desk, too. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we all saw it coming. And I mean, you know, there's obviously, it's somewhat understandable because it was a rather rough run for Cincinnati Fear at the start. I believe in OQs, they ended up going 3 for 2, right? So they were looking a little shaky. And I think you had something to say about Blaze, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what? I did. I can be quoted as saying before the tournament that I wasn't super high on Blaze coming into summer. I was not impressed by him in the spring, and I was wrong. There is no other way to say it. I will hold my L because you know what? We saw in the hype video, Blaze is coming off the best tournament of his life. He played out of his mind in the series against Jake's Kittens, held his own against Ryoma, and not only that, actually was a huge playmaker and catalyst for his team. So Blaze, I mean, all of a sudden, just an absolute X-Factor player to watch. I have been really impressed with his rise, becoming a true secondary carry for this team. Because although he's not usually like the main damage dealing threat, they like to go a little bit more to their side lanes as a team, and that's just a stylistic choice. Blaze's ability to facilitate that is absolutely invaluable and cannot be understated. So yeah, Blaze, I was wrong, and to say I'm impressed is an understatement. I'm really excited to continue watching this player grow in the second half of summer.
Yeah, it's really important to point out as well, just that he's this heavy hitter right now because he's in a team full of heavy hitters, right? You've got Dragoon as well, who you put him in that top lane on something like the Gwen or the Darius, and he is just going to absolutely decimate your team. You've got Sketch as well. You got Trickster in the run as well, and they're all just looking. They're bloodthirsty. They are hungry for wins, and they absolutely, I mean, they grabbed everything. They took the mile, and they kept running in the last PGCQs. It was ridiculous.
For sure. And Dragoon, I love that you say that name because Dragoon is a player that has been around a little bit and never fails to just smash top lane on his favorite champions. In this series up against Porsche, blind picked his signature Gangplank. Dragoon got his signature Darius into it and absolutely ran a train through that game, and it actually scared Porsche off of the gangplank for the second game of the series. That's how dominant it was. And I did that interview with Dragoon, and he said, y'all, you can't keep picking these easy champions into me. I'm gonna pick Darius into you, and I'm gonna smash you. And that confidence from a top laner like that is so clutch. And yeah, along with Blaze, creates some formidable solo laners for the side of Cincinnati Fear. But to your point, they are basically just stacked everywhere. But speaking of being stacked everywhere, we can't forget about Jake's Kittens, because their solo laners, you know, are pretty good too. We mentioned Porsche, who now has his coach from UST Nova working with the squad. And Ryoma, I feel like, needs no introduction, but the man that they are facilitating is none than the rookie Aaron in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even that much really to talk about, but I'm excited for it, honestly, because this is like your chance to be showing up, and it's just so beautiful. Like, it must feel so good when you're kind of the new kid on the block, and you just have all of these like battle hardened veterans. They're like, yo, we got you, bro. We're putting everything into you. You're the star of the show. I mean, we didn't even touch on Prismo, for example, as well, right? Who also has a lot of prior experience as well. Exactly, as well in the ADC role, looking to swap on over to support as well. And I feel like his supporting style also kind of still is very indicative of that, with a lot of this bloodthirsty sort of gameplay we see from him. He loves to be roaming, and like you said, he loves to be enabling Aaron to do what he does best: get kills, get fed, and look good doing it.
Yeah, for sure. It really does seem like the winning formula for Jake's Kittens up until the quarterfinals was Ryoma and Prismal. They move around and they play for Aaron. They get this kid ahead because they know that if he gets a lead, he is absolutely insane. And I think that did play into the quarterfinal series because, of course, we do need to acknowledge that it was some subs in both jungle positions, actually. Goo came in for Cincinnati Fear and absolutely smurfed it up against Jake's Kittens, but Aaron wasn't there, and Jake's Kittens, they didn't have this young superstar at their disposal, and you'd have to think that did play in to the outcome of the series a little bit. And I know Aaron has been outspoken about looking forward to this match, and you'd have to think that with this jungler back in, although maybe it won't necessarily culminate in a different result, who knows, Jake's Kittens will at least really be firing on all cylinders today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was gonna ask you, do you feel like with these obviously different junglers back in the mix, do you think the gameplay and the game style that we saw in this first matchup between the two is gonna change at all, or is it going to be relatively the same? Obviously, you know, for Cincinnati Fear, a little bit hard to say because you never really know what they're going to do, right? Because they just have such a stacked roster. It's like sometimes they'll send Dragoon up top onto the Ornn, right, and let the rest of his team just be the playmakers. And sometimes we saw, for example, in the quarterfinals, right, they send Sketch and Plux on that Senna Tom Kench and then let Dragoon up in the top go Gwen or Darius.
Well, and one of the most surprising things is they actually gave Goo such hard carry matchups. He got the Kindred in game one and went crazy, and to your point, yeah, I don't think Cincinnati Fear will actually look that much different. Whether it's Trickster or Goo, this team has 5 carries. There's no other way to say it. All of these players can absolutely pop off and do a hell of a lot of damage for your team. So I think that actually might be part of the reason why Goo subbing in was a little bit more seamless for them. But Jake's Kittens, yeah, I am expecting them to go more towards this focused jungle style. I am expecting them to put Aaron on a bit of a pedestal with some pushing lanes. So I think stylistically, it could create a little bit of a difference too. We talked a lot about this yesterday with Maryville and Taco Gaming. Maryville, they're going to play more for their lanes. Taco Gaming, they're going to play for City Witty. And I think it's somewhat similar here, whereas Cincinnati Fear, they want to play for their laners just a little bit more. And then they're going to get their jungler ahead and try to carry through that position.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, I'm excited, honestly, to get into it. And just in general, I want to see Sketch popping off again. We got a couple of tastes of that as well, right? With the fancy footwork that was coming out. He put on the backpack a few times. He's like, boys, get in. I got
Twitch
this.
in the group stage up against, like, game 2, literally put his team on his back. It was insane. Sketch is a player that you can never count out. And Scooped is the same way. You know, we're talking about how Jake's plays for Aaron. Well, they can afford to do that because you know who's there to carry them in team fights if things go awry? This is brilliant AD carry and Scooped, and I think in a lot of ways that makes Sketch and Scooped very similar.
Yeah, definitely. And also just the fact that obviously Scooped has played with the likes of Dragoon, Plux, and Blaze for quite a bit. So it's like
no team.
Yeah, exactly. It's like rivalry on top of rivalry. Like you're playing against your boys, basically. Like you've got through so many hardships together, and now you got to face them down, put them in the dirt.
Yeah, for real. I mean, you have to think that Scooped maybe wants a little bit of revenge on his former teammates. Remember, this core, alongside Griffin, who was the jungler for No Team in spring, they won PGCQ number 2 in the spring. They went to Proving Grounds, and although they didn't really have the result that they want in Proving Grounds, they were one of the most successful teams in the entire scene, if not the second most successful team, probably behind 100 Thieves next. And so for Scooped now being on this different roster, I'm sure he wants to kind of prove that, like, hey, I am just as good as these guys, because this 3-man core of Dragoon, Blaze, and Plux, they just went to another finals. I think Scooped probably wants a piece of the pie. Oh, wow. All right, Echo, you gonna relay the info?
I'm muted for some reason. Okay, I was gonna say, go ahead, take it away, be my guest talk.
All right, well, yeah, we just got word from production. We actually have another roster swap for Jake's Kittens. Prismal is out. Coach Nova is in. So coach of UST, maybe a little bit of synergy with Porsche here. Who knows, but probably not exactly the outcome that Jake's Kittens were hoping for. But yeah, Nova coming in. We'll have to see how this actually influences what ends up happening. While we do get those roster swaps sort of sorted out and everything, hopefully we'll get underway soon. We are going to go to a quick break, so make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be back with draft for game number 1.
There we go. There we go. What's going on, everybody? We are back, and so we're about to get right into a draft. Just had to get a couple of things fixed up there, and so now we know for certain that there is going to be a sub occurring. Please inform the people. What do they need to be expecting?
Yeah, it's exactly what we told you guys right before break. Prismal, unfortunately, is unavailable right now, so it will be Nova swapping in at the support position. Now, Nova, of course, is the coach of Jake's Kittens, as previously mentioned, which means that he probably knows the system better than anyone. And in terms of role swapping into a role, support is usually okay, because as long as you do know that system, you'll probably be fine. So we'll have to see if Nova is able to link up with Aaron the same way that we've seen Prismal be able to. But hey, if it's anything like CLG Faith's run, Low Pally came in and played really well himself too. So who knows, maybe coaches at support is the new meta. But Jake's Kittens, I think more than anything what I'm looking at is how the lane will go. Now with Scooped and Nova, will that synergy be as good as Prismal and Scooped up against a very formidable 2v2 in Sketch and Plux?
Yeah, I mean, who's better to sub in than the person who created the system themselves, right? It's like, you got all the info already in them. And we do see something already. Darius being taken right off the board. A solid nod of respect going over to Dragoon, obviously. You know, you don't want to be seeing him on there. And in response as well, Gangplank being taken off the board. Really no surprise there. Both of these bands going hand in hand.
I like the Darius ban, and I like the Gangplank ban, because Darius is Dragoon's answer to the Gangplank, and it's basically Porsche saying, hey, I'm willing to pick Gangplank into anything except for your Darius. So they just handshake and ban each other's one tricks. That makes a lot of sense. Lots of other champions on the board could definitely be impactful. That's Senna. That was just banned out. Seraphine, Lucian, Wukong, a lot of champions that we've seen had very high presence on the current patch here. On 12.12. With the Senna banned out, things like the Tom Kench, generally not considered as powerful, so we don't need to worry much about those. But other supports that could be impactful as well. Yuumi, we saw it yesterday, Zeri Yuumi. Didn't end up working out for Taco Gaming, but it did come through. And it is going to be that Seraphine ban coming through. It has been banned very frequently on Red side through the first 32 games of the tournament.
Yeah. And also the Senna ban as well, having a little bit of history behind it, because that was one of those first picks that we saw actually come out in that first game between Jake's Kittens and Cincinnati Fear. We saw the Senna Tom Kench in that bot lane. We're playing it incredibly safe, and overall we're looking pretty good. So really no surprise. As some more bans, we do see the Volley Bear being taken off the table as well here from Jake's Kittens, and we wait for the final ban to come out from Fear so that we can get a better idea what these teams are looking to do. I'm quite curious though who they're opting to take off the board here.
Yeah, I think this Volleybear ban is actually really interesting. Clearly wanting to take a playmaker away from Trickster. We were talking about playing for lanes, and Volleybear is one of the best champions in the game at doing that, as he's great at early ganking. He has a lot of early dueling pressure, and then once you hit 6, you're never safe. You can never go mismatch
saw yesterday,
against
yeah.
Volibear. Yeah, you can't mismatch clear against a Volibear because if the enemy jungler is not there, he will just dive your laner for free. It is unavoidable, and it makes it so difficult to sort of play your own game, and that champion can dictate the pace of the game so much. I wonder if this is also setting up for a bit of a Wukong first pick. Volibear has been a little bit choice into the Wukong as just for the aforementioned gank threat and early dueling power. But Bel'Veth is another champion. Never mind. Okay, talking about hovers. But the first pick, Kindred. This is very interesting.
Yeah, indeed. Very interesting to see. Already putting the Kindred most likely onto Aeron here. A very, very aggressive jungle, obviously. So it kind of maybe hinting, whispering towards the fact that they're going to look to, as we expected, right, to get Aeron ahead and have him just absolutely snowball through this game. But the response looking like, I will put emphasis on looking like, since it hasn't been locked in yet. There we go. See, they tried to bait me with the Lee Sin, but they are going to hit us. But the Xin Zhao, someone who we haven't really been seeing being picked up as much, especially with this current meta.
Yeah, I've not been very impressed with Xin Zhao on 12-12. I'm willing to say that. I don't think it's that good. And actually, I was surprised that the Lee Sin didn't come through because I do like the matchup into the Kindred as well. I mean, you can kick Kindred off the Lambs or Spite, and it's such an easy interaction. However, what I will give Xin Zhao is we're talking about early dueling power. We're talking about playing for lanes, and Xin Zhao is one of the best champions in the game at doing that as well. He's so difficult to fight early on, and the gank potential is absolutely there, especially if you have setup in your lane, someone that can set up a stun before Xin Zhao arrives. You hit the wind becomes lightning, and they're basically guaranteed to die at that point. And even though Kindred has self-peel, Xin Zhao always can run them down, always can get on top of them, and always outduel them unless the Kindred gets ahead. So I like this pick here for Trickster. It should just be an enabler for some strong team fighting. Now, it seems like Jake's Kittens, though, they're going to just go for the double ADC composition. They want to try to scale into this, and Jinx against Xin Zhao can really shut it down. The Flame Choppers are such an effective zoning tool.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to, obviously, to your point that, they're going to look to just run straight at him with that Xin Zhao. What's better than having a Yuumi sitting on top of him as well, right? Giving him those Yuumis, those 300 HP heals just to keep him in that fight. And I'm also curious about Scoop most likely being on that Jinx. Nova's just like, I got you, bro. Let's do this. Let's get this bot lane going. Let's get it nasty. Let's get it dirty. And the Corki? Okay. Yeah.
I line pick Corki right here actually for Ryoma. Ryoma very proficient on the champion, and also it's forcing Fear to either pick their Yuumi pairing right here, or Jake's Kittens can ban them out. So basically, Fear can either counter pick ADC in the bot lane to get a favorable matchup, or they get a nice Yuumi pairing. But if you don't pick Ezreal or Zeri here, it's going to get banned. So it might be forcing Fear's hand. I think this is a very good use of a mid lane blind pick to get yourself some pressure, but no, it's just gonna be the Yone. Blaze says, give me the matchup. That's all out of the window. I am expecting Ezreal Zeri bans here.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if they don't come out, especially with the hover as well. Who knows? Maybe Fear was expecting that, and they have some crazy concocted plan to get around it. Yeah, honestly, you never know. But I'm also so excited to see Blaze on the Yone. Oh, Lord. As we do wait for these next couple of bands, though, to come out, is going to be the Lulu. Take off the board. Obviously, Chanter going with Jinx. Don't want to see that if you're going up against them, so really no surprise there.
For sure. Now, Fear wants to force Jake's Kittens to play and engage champion, because with this double ADC, triple ADC, I should say, and the amount of defensive utility that each of them has to save each other, with an Enchanter, this game becomes nearly unplayable. Your composition as Fear right now just straight up does not have the damage or survivability to fight front to back into Jake's, and I don't think these last two picks will really change that. So you need to pick a little bit more volatility. That way you can attack lanes earlier on and actually grab yourself a lead. Now, Gwen ends up being one of the bans, so it seems like Jake's Kittens is just going to focus on the top side and say, hey, Fear, you can pick whatever you want. We're going to outscale you anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, overall, pretty respectable pick. They know that Dragoon is a force to be reckoned with, especially if he gets even the slightest bit ahead, presumably that he's not being forced onto something like an Ornn, like a really tanky champion. So, honestly, I respect that. And the Darius already being taken off, the Gwen being taken off, two champs that we've seen him perform so well on. Really no surprise there, those coming out. And actually, the Ornn ban coming out from Fear itself got me really interested as to what we're going to see Dragoon on today.
Yeah, again, creating volatility. Don't let a safe scaler through the draft. Force Porsche into a matchup that he's not quite as comfortable on, not quite as safe on, so that you can attack that top side. But Jake's Kittens, they're removing some of Dragoon's favorites. I think like all four of Dragoon's most played champions are gone right now. I'm actually not sure what Dragoon ends up going to, but it will probably be counter pick on the top side. Remember that Ezreal and Zeri weren't banned out, so Fear actually kind of gets away with a safe Yuumi pairing, but it's still not a counter pick, remember. If they want to counter pick for Dragoon, they are still forced to pick their ADC right here. So Jake's Kittens still gets what they want. They're still able to get that counter pick on the bottom side, and they're able to pinch out Dragoon's pool in the process.
Yeah, picking up that Zeri for a sketch, something that you were anticipating to come to fruition. And so with that out of the way, now it's up to Jake's Kittens to pick on ahead. Curious as to what they look to pick up here. Really gonna make me wait here. Come on, let's see it. Ooh, gonna be the Wukong. Hovered. Throw that out there. Waiting for him to lock it.
Blind would be really interesting.
It would have been
Gragas
strange.
makes more sense, yeah. Yeah, Gragas makes a lot more sense. If we're talking about safety, Gragas is another one of those champions that absolutely fits the bill. And it really can just disrupt fights. We're talking about Peel. We're talking so much about Peel when it comes to the side of Jake's Kittens. And it's because they have the triple ADCs. And Fear sort of has a short-range composition right now. Zeri, not the longest range AD carry, not least till she gets her lethal tempo stacked up. So if you could just keep Fear at arm's length, we've talked about their level of damage that they can put out, and Gragas and Sona are two more champions that are all about survivability, all about creating space for your carries to pop off. And I mean, hey, we were talking about playing for Aaron, and Kindred is definitely a champion that you can play to. First pick to remember for this guy, it is a comfort pick for Aaron. Very confident draft from Jake's Kittens.
Definitely. And I mean, if it wasn't already scaling City, right, with the Jinx, with the Kindred, with the Corki as well, they opt for the Sona, who obviously struggles a little bit in that early game, but then as it kind of progresses on and gets really late, the win rate starts to just skyrocket up. And yeah, Zach actually coming out, finally something a lot more very, tanky frontline that can actually look to feel somewhat more and really just send it the distance with that jump as well. Get right in your face, get them all knocked up and stunned, so that the rest of that very, like you said, right, that short range comp coming up from Fear can actually get to where they need to be.
Yeah, but this isn't a Zac jungle like you might expect.
True.
This is a Zac top here for Dragoon. It seems that Dragoon having a trick up his sleeve. Now, I've seen Zac top over the years in competitive play, kind of like pop up one or two games at a time. Very matchup dependent. Yeah, very matchup dependent, very composition dependent. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It's very safe in lane. It's very hard to force out. But what it really provides is long range initiation. And that is what Fear wants. We're talking about Jake's Kittens. They want to keep you at arm's length. Fear, they want to get on top of you. And Zac is one of the best champions at starting fights on his own terms. So a very interesting pick from Dragoon. I'm a little concerned about Fear's damage and tankiness later on. Even though they do have a frontline tank in the Zac with some dive in the Yone and Xin Zhao, Jake's Kittens is sporting so much damage, and I feel like they're going to be able to survive the initial engage from Cincinnati Fear. But we'll have to see how this one ends up going, because the Xin Zhao and a Kindred matchup could tip the scales. Jungle matchup, jungle matchup, jungle matchup. Jake's Kittens wants to get Aaron going, but the matchup is in favor of Trickster.
Yeah, I feel like this is also one of the games, obviously, positioning is always incredibly crucial, but this time around especially, it's like the moment that you are just kind of clumped together or you're stuck and Dragoon is able to get on top of you, Lord, you are gone. The final chapter is going to come out. The Fate Seal is going to come out. All these ultis that are going to keep you stuck in place and allow the entirety of Fear to get on top of you, like you said they want to do. And once they do that, especially if they even have like the slightest bit of lead, the damage that's going to come out, it's not going to be looking good for Jake's Kittens.
Yeah, if you can't survive that initial engage, you are definitely going to be in for a rough time. Or if you fall behind enough to where even if you survive the initial engage, you get out DPS'd, that's also a problem. So the game is sort of in a delicate balance here for the first 20-odd minutes for Jake's Kittens. You can't fall too far behind. You can't let Cincinnati get too far ahead. But if you can stay relevant, scale up into those team fights, it can absolutely go crazy. We're going to hop to a quick break as we're having just a couple slight delays getting into the game. But when we return, we will be on to the Rift for game number 1 between Jake's Kittens and Cincinnati Fear.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Got everything fixed up that we needed to, and we are in game, and the rematch is now underway. Jake's Kittens going up against Cincinnati Fear. They've been in this place before. I was so tempted to just go deja vu, right? But no, I'm not. I'm going to spare you with that. But they have been in the same position before. Last time around, the stakes were a little higher. It was quarterfinals. But regardless, a lot of pride is on the line right now.
Definitely a lot of pride on the line as Plux gets a nice little 20 gold, and Jake's Kittens, they're already walking in. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with us as we got in the game, but we are finally underway, of course, and Aaron, the man we've been talking so much about, had some choice words for the Fear on Twitter today, about to turn Cincinnati Fear into Cincy Tier after they make them cry. I mean, Echo, that's some good trash talk.
Yeah, that's pristine smack talk right there, honestly, if I've ever heard it. But obviously, if you are going to say that, you better be able to back it up.
Yeah.
If you can't, then that's not looking good. That's not going to look good on your repertoire, dude.
I know, man. Aaron, he's coming back. You know, first time playing Cincy Fear. You got to back this up because this is your time to prove that, like, hey, we would have won last time if I was there. So you better watch out. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some definitely like some ramifications to this, but I am here for it. We'll have to see if Aaron can get going because, hey, you pick up a couple of marks and Cincinnati Fear might turn into Cincy Tier.
Indeed. But only time will tell. Things obviously going off a bit slowly at the moment here. Bit of trading going on overall. Looking at the pathing, though. We'll start in this top side, looking to pat down. Are we surprised about that at all?
No. I'm just going to answer that like that because both, it's a meatball top lane. Even if the Gragas goes AP, it just heals a lot. It's still very tanky in the lane and hard to force out. So there's not really any plays to be had, and you're wanting to really look towards this bottom side because we've got 2 hyper-scaling AD carries with 2 hyper-scaling supports. Remember, again, Trickster is the one with the tools to make plays, but it's Jake's Kittens with the wave pressure. The Sona is so much stronger in this lane than the Yuumi at early levels. So we see Scooped and Nova able to get the push. Just to go over names real quick as well. Texas will be known as Nova. Can't off-roll is Trickster. And Zix will be Ryoma, just so we can keep things consistent. Already, we might be seeing some of that playmaking come through.
Yep, looking to find the pick here onto Ryoma here, but gonna use that Valkyrie to get on over the wall, and ultimately, nothing quite gonna come out of it just yet. Already, some early aggression coming out, though. Love to see it.
Yeah, and this is something we've been seeing from a lot of junglers on recent patches now, is just this prank gank mid, where you kind of just, instead of walking behind your mid tower, you just walk through, and it even allows you to go for early invades like this.
Yep, indeed, Aaron. Gonna have to use that flash to get on over the wall. Couldn't hop over it. Needs to definitely be careful. So with that being out, that gives a lot of info as well to the positions of both junglers here. And with that stack as well for the Kindred being in that top river, be surprised if we don't see Trickster instantly looking to pivot up on there and grab it.
Yeah, and Aaron losing flash right there feels really good for Trickster, and it may look like Trickster's sort of wasting a lot of time here, which he is, but look at all of the camps he still has to farm. He's got this crab, he's got his entire blue side quadrant, and even the other crab, which Dragoon is actually going down to potentially deny the mark. So it's sort of delaying Trickster's clear. It's making him farm slower, but he's denying Aaron, and that's the thing that really matters. So nice pathing from Trickster, leveraging the early matchup, and getting just a bit of an advantage for his team.
Yep. Overall, though, wait, really not too much looking to go on just yet. Obviously, it's to be expected from Jake's Kittens, right? We said how they're going to want to just scale and then look for those opportunities. And Cincinnati Fear, if anything, will be the squad that's going to look to actually really make something happen in this early game. Get that early lead so that they can start getting on top of Jake's Kittens and just take them out.
Right, and remember, if you're Cincinnati Fear right now, you don't necessarily need to get ultra fed. You just need to delay Jake's Kittens' power spikes so that their damage doesn't come online when they need it. And plays like that are good ways to do it. It's the small incremental advantages. We saw this in the Maryville game yesterday that can explode into those big ones. And Sketch and Plux now, after the bounce of the wave, they're starting to feel a lot more comfortable in this matchup, pushing the lane back out after Jake's Kittens' first recalls, and it is actually resulting in Sketch being marginally ahead in the CS department even.
Yeah, indeed. That's going to be a lot of gold coming in. Ultra Shock Laser, a lot of damage coming out. They're looking to find that kill. They're like, we're done waiting. Ignite comes out as well, but the heal from Nova is going to keep him alive for now and force him to take that back. Flash and Exhaust both being dropped as well. Those timers might end up being absolutely crucial. Looking at this mid lane, though, Ryoma might have found something here onto place. The Mortal Steel not quite going to connect, and maybe Ryoma can find something here. Spirit Cleave, bit of shield, but overall, not quite going to find it just yet, but is going to force Blaze to back off.
Blaze has the TP, hasn't backed yet, so will be fine at the end of the day. He was able to get the entire wave in towards Ryoma, and that's what he really wanted. So Blaze going to be able to get back to this one, no harm, no foul, and everybody's just back to farming. So far, pretty even across the board, but it's Cincinnati Fear getting more summoner spells. High value exhaust does come through from Nova, but still having to invest the flash to survive. We asked how Nova subbing into this bottom lane would influence this matchup, and although the champions are the same, I think Sona definitely a Prismal type of champion. It is Cincinnati Fear getting the early advantage.
Yeah, we saw R1 looking to see if there's some kind of opening for him to head on in there, try and pick up this double here onto Sketch and Plux, but not quite going to find it just yet. With that first dragon being up as well, we are seeing rotations coming through here from Blaze as well as Trickster looking to move down. They can clear vision. I think they're on top of it. It might be wrong though. Gonna have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised though. They're looking to, yeah, they are indeed looking to just take that, start things up, get that early cash in.
There you go. You take an early dragon, you can threaten for an early soul. Everything coming together for Fear so far. It's been a quiet early game, but it's certainly not inactive. Porsche going into the enemy jungle to get some vision down. So Jake's Kittens, they're trying to trade cross map, but it is the Fear generating their advantages, as well as another mark just being denied in the river right there for Aaron. That was his second crab spawn for that mark. So Trickster, well done so far. Aaron has been kept down. Jake's, they haven't been able to unlock him, and I think a lot of that comes down to Ryoma hasn't really had as much mid-priority as I think he would have hoped. On this Corki, you know, you can push into the Yone decently well, but Yone actually has a lot of wave clear and sustain in his own right, with those shield procs that can come through and the constant Qs. Look at this, holding the wave. So they've not really been able to get anything going, and as much as the Corki pick will be a menace later on, it does mean that it mitigates some of the early playmaking potential your team will have.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, ultimately, that is kind of what they're looking for. But Blaze trying to find something here with that Soul Unbound. A lot of damage coming out from it, though, but ultimately, not quite going to find anything just at Ryoma. Obviously, half health as well now. Might need to back, doesn't have that TP, so won't be able to get back to lane as quickly at the moment. Already, though, we are seeing that roaming coming out from Plux. Has hopped onto Blaze here as they're looking to actually maybe go for that invade. Very curious to see if they can look to find anything. I don't think they know just yet where Aaron is. Yeah, no. Look at all that vision they're already placing, though. My God.
It's just Blaze being a beautiful facilitator here from the mid lane. Yeah, he's not that far ahead in the 1v1, and I say not that far. He's actually up quite a bit of CS. Ryoma's going to lose a lot of this wave, so Blaze really making the counter matchup work, and it's just enabled Trickster to do anything he wants. Early invade to blow Aaron's flash. Early dragon, now Rift Herald basically on spawn, and there is no recourse from Jake's Kittens. Cincinnati Fear, they just know that they're stronger. They know that they have the better skirmish comp, and they are playing it so well.
Yep, they might look to find Ryoma here. The Zoomies going ahead. Oh my God, so much damage coming out. Fate Seal, not quite going to connect, but it doesn't even matter. Going to cleave that first blood into the hands of Blaze. Look to find something else here. Soul Unbound getting dropped out as well. Aaron does have ultimate if he does have to use it, but should just be able to escape. He does indeed. Unfortunately, Blaze is going to have to return back to his mortal body.
But now first blood comes through for Blaze. My lord, I am glad we chose to focus on him in the pregame echo because he's already looking brilliant. Again, coming off the best tournament of his entire career, Blaze is here to stay in the amateur scene and prove that he is a top tier mid laner. Impressive stuff from the side of Cincinnati. They get their payday. Dragoon getting taken low has the passive and all those healing from the blobs.
Yeah, my God. Said, let's go bounce. Porsche bounces on out of there. Overall, has just been doing a great job of holding its own, making sure that there's no opportunity for Porsche to really move and do anything other than just hold that wave close to his turret. It allowed them to get that Rift out earlier as well. And so overall, I'm sure he's going to keep on doing it. Dragoon maybe looking to find something here, though. Body Slam is going to cut short. 200 HP coming out, though, from that heal. And Dragoon does have cell. Oh, I did get the blob, but he does have cell division. So, does go down. It might not be the end of the world. Flash coming out. No way. The flash to try and dodge. Cell division has been activated. It's only a matter of time.
Minions?
Can Porsche find something? Minions are trying to be waves right now. And Porsche is still going to secure the kill on Dragoon.
Oh no, Dragoon, the Zac counter pick, not quite getting it done. Now Blaze wants a piece.
Yep, gotta try and find something with the flash. Needs to get a little bit more damage, but Tower is not gonna quite find the kill. Almost a tower damage diff. Won't quite get it though. Now Blaze and Porsche both incredibly low, and look at that. Aaron, is on his way up. This might be that kill that he was looking for to finally get himself ahead in this skirmish. ward. Clears that ward. Oh, no ward there. Just so nothing spawning him out. He wants this kill so badly. Dude, come on. Find him. All right, Blaze has been spotted. Blaze doing a lot of damage of his own, though, indeed. Gonna wait for it. Everyone's just waiting at that button. Like, I know you have to come back, and he has to come back. Indeed, it's gonna go down into the hands of Porsche.
And what a huge turnaround for Jake's Kittens on the top side. They pick up 2 kills. And not only that, but Blaze loses almost his entire mid advantage. Ryoma was able to crash the wave. And all those minions died to the tower. And that's Porsche picking one up. Jake's Kittens, they are now back in this game. Really nicely done.
Definitely. Trickster still holding on, meanwhile, to that Herald as well. Gotta ask you, I'm curious where you think that's going to be placed down. You're going to see that maybe in this bot lane here to give Sketch some of that income that he might need, or do they maybe drop in and let Blaze collect some more of that cash that he can get back in head?
I would imagine it'll either go bot or mid for sure. It probably depends on wherever you're more effectively able to get priority, whether it comes from roaming the Zerayumi up towards mid and dropping it there, or towards bottom. You'd think that with the Corki package, you would actually rather go towards mid. That way you're not risking a re-engage from Jake's Kittens on the bottom side there. Blaze does still have the advantage in the 1v1 here.
Dude, oh my god, what? It doesn't even matter what you have, package or not. Blaze will seal the deal, grabs himself that first kill. Flux here as well. Maybe they try to find something in R1 here. Does have that final chapter, though. Not quite gonna look for it, just looking to deal some damage here. Actually, a very nice yeah, very nice knock up indeed, but they might just look to turn this thing around, and there comes the ultimate out from Nova. Can they find this?
Hang on!
Yeah, the Land's Respite does get dropped by Aaron, so for right now, they are still in this fight. We're getting lower and lower. Oh, it's still gonna go down, though. Blaze picking up one. Will eventually finally go down. The final chapter gets dropped as well. Now Nova needs to run for his life. Can he run fast enough, though? Not looking likely. Wind becomes lightning, takes him out, and now Porsche is there with Ryoma. They're going to look to get some revenge for their fallen brothers. Can they find it, though? No keg available, and so ultimately they are going to have to let him go. The Herald being dropped as well in a rather peculiar spot, and Trickster and Plux are going to look to shove out his mid lane.
Okay, so Jake's Kittens is able to force out the Herald. It's expiring. I think this was that play. They wanted to get Prio mid to try to go for a Herald drop. So that's a small win for Jake's Kittens. But Blaze in the mid lane is flexing so hard in this game. Remember, I'm just going to say, in PGCQ1 in spring, Blaze up against Ryoma back on No Team got beat by Ryoma on both sides of the Corki Lucian matchup in that story, and his team ended up falling in that series. This time around, picks the Yone into the Corki, and is not only winning, but is solo killing Ryoma. That is growth from a player that you just love to see in the Proving Ground circuit. Then in the 2v2, the extended play, Blaze is able to pick up Aaron as well, survive for so long, allow Trickster the time to come in, and make it a 3-for-1 in the extended play. What an absolutely unbelievable play from the mid laner of Cincinnati Fear. This is just Blaze's game.
It's not just Blaze. It's Blaze's year at this point, man. He's been showing up, putting down the numbers, and like you said, he's looking to just keep on going. He's doing amazing right now. 3-2 right now, most total gold out of everyone on the Rift at the moment, and he's looking to just keep on shoving this lane and get more gold, get more kills, and look good doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's just pushing Ryoma to this level when he wasn't able to do that in spring is just, it's really impressive to watch. It's so fun, and the Yone pick, that's confidence right there. You love to see it, and to not just talk about Blaze, the way his team has played around him so far has been beautiful as well. Trickster and Plux, their jungle proximity must be incredibly high. I know we don't have that stat available for you guys, unfortunately, but I would imagine it is very substantial. Now, Sketch does need to be careful.
Yep, you see the final chapter getting dropped, actually dodging the Encore. Very nice, a lightning crash coming out, down goes Nova. The Chomper's not quite going to find Sketch, and so he's going to keep on kiting them out. Look at that, though, Trickster in the backline with the, doesn't quite connect. Doesn't even matter, though. Double kill going into the hands of Sketch. Going to try and look for the triple here. Needs to be careful. Yeah, that tower does not play no games, but they do have Scooped stuck there. Meanwhile, in this top lane as well, Porsche looking to try and find something here. Sketch.
Scooped is in trouble.
Oh my god, Scooped. You took a fight you can't win, and Sketch picks up the 3rd kill of the night.
Yeah, Scooped knew he was dead, so he just tries to 1v1 Sketch before he goes down, but unfortunately it wasn't in the cards. Sketch, that was his time to shine, casually just sidesteps the crescendo, no big deal, flashes in and gets the kills. Sketch picked up all 3 in that sequence, and this game has exploded in Fear's favor. Let's take another look at this, as it's Sketch is the one that face checks, but who's face checking who? As Nova unfortunately goes wide, the double root in the follow-up from the final chapter. Aaron, remember, no Lamb's Respite available, committed it in the mid lane fight. It means that the defensive tools are just not there. And in the extended play, Sketch is able to clean him up for his 4 more teammates.
Look at that. Trickster just standing there so menacingly like, yeah, you know what's about to happen the moment this wave crashes, right? Like, just get it over with. Scoop like, hey, let's see what we can do here. Ultimately doesn't quite find the kill. I gotta say, though, yo, Sketch's sidestep with the crescendo there was so perfect to watch. That was so slick.
I will say, I don't know if that was Sketch, like, just using off to the side, and then the crescendo, like, happened to come out, or if he saw the animation and went for it, but he is just in!
Oh my god, he's looking for more things right now, looking for this first kill, finds it right at the scoop, looking for Nova as well, not quite gonna get it though. Aaron flashing his skit on.
I don't know if you win this.
I don't think so either. Lamb Respite does get dropped. Okay, it's just going to go ahead and dash on out of there. But at the end of the day, nothing really lost there for Sketch. And blowing a lot of key ultis as well, especially for Aaron as well. That's going to be huge and could be quite detrimental in these next couple of fights.
Yeah, the way the pace of the game has just exploded, getting that Lamb's Respite out really could be impactful. And Sketch just Giga Chads his way into the enemy jungle. That was essentially 2v4 and claims a kill and then just scoots on out of there. And up until Ryoma even arrived, I don't think Jake's Kittens actually had the ability to win that fight. Sketch was doing so much damage. Level 11 on the Zeri. It was about Blaze in the early game. It's been about Sketch in the mid game. Now both players are insanely fed. These carries have 7 out of 8 kills for their team. Dragoon and Porsche are just continuing to beat the crap out of each other in the top lane.
It's like they just keep healing, like they will never die at the end of the day. Slingshot, though, from Dragoon has had enough. Is going to go on and get out of there. We saw the ulti come out from Porsche as well. The keg getting dropped, so that is going to be unavailable for a while. And speaking of unavailable, right there. Oh, hold on, though. That is a huge package. Pluck's nowhere to go. The kitty cat gets dropped down. Must have hurt Jake's Kittens to take out one of their own, but they got to do what they got to do.
No, Jake's Kittens, they killed the cat. Oh, that's so sad. I hadn't thought about that. Oh, but a good package from Ryoma to clean that one up. Dragoon's low has the passive here. No Lamb's Respite.
Look for something, though. Dragoon knows what's about to happen there. Let's bounce, he says. See what they can do here. Does go down. Cell Division coming out as well. That turret's doing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, we do see Trickster just running down Scoop, trying to at least clear that wave before he goes down. Get whatever farm you can. Goes down and up in that top lane. Actually, Dragoon ends up falling, and this turret should fall as well. Blaze, though, if you're going to look for an engagement here, Soul Unbound, can he dash in? Actually going to opt to go for Aaron first, takes him out. Going to try and get Porsche here as well, but he's going to have to return his body. And honestly, that is some pristine target selection. They're realizing that he's probably not going to be able to take out Porsche, so goes for Aaron instead.
Yeah, Aaron was higher HP, but that's a Kindred as opposed to a full tank Gragas. So even though Porsche's health bar was lower, he was still a lot harder to kill right there. And we're going to take another look at the fight that was happening simultaneously mid lane. It seems like Sketch going for another Giga Chad play, but unfortunately, Crescendo was not dodged this time. And that is a big shutdown for Scooped. We were talking about him as a late game insurance for this team, and getting a 750 gold shutdown on a Jinx is definitely a good step in the right direction for this team. The gold lead's still about 4,000 in favor of Cincy Fear, so they are still firmly in control. On Dragon Soul points as well, we saw them pick that one up off screen as we can take a look at that gold graph. It's still very in their favor, but you can't be afforded too many of those as Jake's Kittens is starting to slowly get some item spikes.
Yeah, it definitely felt like Sketch just kind of got so used to the healing that comes out when Plux is with them that when he realized, like, oh, I'm taking this fight, I don't have the shield bow that you see a lot of times being built on Zeri. I don't have a lot of sustain, and it just goes down. You hate to see it. But ultimately, Sketch just needs to definitely be careful. Can't opt to give any of those shutdowns over, because we know for a fact that Jake's Kittens, if you give them an opportunity, they will take it and look to get back into this game.
For sure, and I think part of it just comes back to, like, the last couple times Sketch went in, he didn't have to take a crescendo in the face, right? And this time he did, and I just think maybe underestimated it. Blaze in the one-on-one against Porsche, just a couple crabs being flashed, everybody running away.
Yeah, ultimately took the keg in the face, and that's really about it. Meanwhile, Ryoma needs to definitely be careful. Dragoon, dude, he does not care about turrets, bro. Looking to send it in. Will go down, though. That super mega death rocket does find the mark. Final chapter getting dropped, and Flux is going to go down. He tanked as much as he could for his boy, Trickster. Trickster healing so much with the core drinker, but at the end of the day, it won't quite be enough. Scooped is like, I don't care if I'm in melee range. You will not survive this.
Oh no, Dragoon goes in without the passive and minions and dies, but Flux picked up the tower aggro and died while attached. That was huge there because we saw how long Trickster lived even without the Yumi. Look, and I think in general, this is just an ill-advised dive. Sketch isn't close enough to really follow up with the damage, but look, Dragoon dies right as the Prowling projectile hits, and you can see the Yumi gets 100 to 0'd by 3 tower shots while on the back of Trickster. And I mean, look at this. He lives for so long with Sketch on the way. If the Yumi is still attached, I think you actually might have a chance to turn this one around, but instead, that is 2 more shutdowns given up. The 4,000 gold lead has shrunk to a 1,000 gold lead. That is gold. 2 more kills for Scooped as well. We look at that Jinx KDA and the win-loss. Scooped, so proficient on this champion this year. I think he has a pentakill on it as well, if I'm not mistaken. I know he has at least a quad. So, Jace Kittens, they are back in the game.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? If he keeps up the way he's doing right now, he might just get that penta today. You never know. Only time really will tell for that one. And speaking of time, we got 40 seconds left until the next drag is up on the map here. Blaze still has Flex right, and I'm just chilling right now. And we are seeing both of these teams slowly but surely pivot into this river as they set up for this next drag, seeing as it is going to be Soul for Cincinnati Fear.
Yeah, let's not forget, Cincinnati Fear still has 2 very fed carries. Blaze and Sketch are definitely online. Not only that, both of them sporting 10 CS per minute, so it's not cause for panic, whereas for Jake's Kittens, it is all on Scooped. Their late game carry has to be just that. Now, Trickster is in a 1v5, but here comes the sack.
Dragoon looking to go in, does get this. No, so ultimately not quite going to find it. Trickster looking for something. A lot of heal coming out.
Look at Sketch.
Does get dropped. Sketch trying to find something in that backline, though. But with that Lamb's Respite, nobody dies yet, and now they're starting to drop like flies. Nova picking up that first kill. Sketch in the backline, per usual, has Plux on him, getting those healings coming out. Trying to find something. Huge dive in from Dragoon, but won't find anything. Scoop gets 1. Looking to get 2. Come on, Sketch. Let's see what you got. It's going to be a 2 versus 4 here. The Zoomies coming out. The heal's coming out. He's dashing over the wall. Trying to get those kills left and right, but can't quite find it. Porch is on him, and he's chasing him down. Finds the triple, though. Looking to get Ryoma. Get Ryoma, too. Let's see what you're made of, Sketch. Got Plux on him. Got those heals. Ultra Shock Laser not quite going to connect. He's still on him, though. He's too fast. He's running him down. Be careful, though. If you let Porch get onto you, you might be dead here. The stun comes out. The pentakill. Let's go, Sketch. We knew you had it in you. You showed us that you're the man today.
Sketch dreams just when it looks like Jake's Kittens is back in the game says no. He's firing over the wall for so long, and it looked like Jake's Kittens had zoned him out of the fight, but he found his way back in. And look at the positioning right here. It's actually a split fight. Dragoon misses the engage, and it means that Trickster gets zoned out so hard, and no one from Cincinnati Fear is actually able to get in. And we talked about it. This ADC backline, if they can stay alive long enough, they can do so much. But now the tools are gone. Nothing is left for the Zeri. And with the Yumi on his back, Sketch cleans up the fight with masterful ADC play.
This man was a soccer player in his last life, bro, because the footwork was immaculate on that one. Look at that. Even now, he's still staring down the barrel of 3 enemies. He sees Ryoma as well. He's like, thank you, I'll be taking that. And then against Porsche, realizing that obviously, you know, if you get too close to him, you're just going to get body slammed. He's going to heal so much, obviously. So the moment he gets too close, he's like, no, let me back up a little bit. Stays just out of arm's reach, takes him out for the penta. Beautiful stuff.
These carries from Cincinnati Fear, my God, they are so good. And Baron's just gone. They just got it.
Oh my God, no way, dude. And they also get more than just the Baron. They find themselves Aeron as well. Maybe look to find something even more here. The Steel Threader does find a mark there. Final Chapter getting dropped as well. And they're looking to just run them down. But now the return fire is coming through as they do pick up the kill on Scoop and Nova as well. Blaze finally finding that kill into Porsche though. And so ultimately, things not, you know, it's not over till it's over.
Oh my lord, and they just got 4 more kills though, and the Baron, Cincinnati Fear, Ocean Soul in hand, Baron online. Ryoma running away, Blaze is in.
There's no way, Blaze. Oh, thank God. Oh, that actually goes into the hands of Flux's Ignite. You'll love to see it. Cincinnati Fear with a dominating performance right now. Gonna go ahead and grab themselves that tier 2 in the mid lane. Look to move on as well for this tier 3 with those empowered minions as well. Not sure if Blaze, Blaze not quite gonna be able to get it. There's some waves. Oh my God, Blaze, yo, you gotta chill. You might be big, but maybe you're not that big yet. Never mind. He says, let me show you how to do things around here. Looks to go in here. A lot of damage coming out. Shield bow does get popped. Gonna go gold to heal up a little bit. Wait for those zoomies to come out, but it doesn't even matter. So much healing coming out, but can't quite find it. Still goes down at the end of the day. Lux will soon follow as well. Ultimately, tried to find something, almost had it, but still goes down.
Oh, maybe a little bit of ego right there from Blaze. You know, I respect it. I don't think it was a good play, but I respect it as he does end up getting taken down. Cincinnati Fear, they're still in control. They still have the Baron. They still have the Soul. They're still well on their way to winning this game. But, again, as we saw from the Soul team fight, Jake's Kittens, if they're given the angle, can still win this one. It was another shutdown, I believe, going over to Scooped, and now on 3 items. So, something to keep our eyes on, but I want to address something, Echo, because you know, coming into this tournament, I think some people maybe were of the opinion that Cincinnati Fear, they got here to the finals and came in second place in the last tournament on a bit of a fluke, right? Like, they were in a group with Maryville who was focused on CeeLo. They were up against a Jake Kittens that didn't have their X-Factor jungler in the quarterfinals. They were up against another collegiate team that was focusing on CeeLo in the semifinals. But I think games like this prove that it was not a fluke. It was not about the people that they were playing, but it was the way in which they played the game. Because when you see such exquisite early games and carry play from a team, that is a winning formula. And this is the look of a powerhouse team. Cincinnati Fear, they have played a beautiful game.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a staple piece for them right now. It's like now all eyes are on you. Like you said, right, people, you got people talking smack that it might have been a fluke, and you got to prove yourself, that you got to step up to the plate. And Cincy Fear, they're doing exactly that. Everyone on their team is playing to perfection. Everyone's understood the assignment, what they got to do, what they got to get done, and they've been doing it over and over and over again in every single one of these team fights.
Yeah, and it's just, it's so beautifully done. And I want to mention that stat that came up as well. Record is 18 kills in PGCQ #1. 3 players managed to hit that mark. If Sketch can get to 19, he will be in sole possession of that record. And I believe he was one of the names that flashed up there. So let's see if he can break his own record just to get sole possession. Currently on 10. I think he's got a long way to go. I would imagine the game would end before then. But either way, the fact that he's even on that board, I think that was from the Giga Carry Twitch game in group stage, if I'm not mistaken. Someone could confirm that for me. Oh, okay. It was on a Varus game in spring when he was on EGP. So that is 18, 1, and 6 was the KDA. That's the entire year stats. No one has broken 18 kills. Impressive stuff from the ADC of Cincy Fear.
Definitely, it's gnarly stuff, and I don't even know why I just said that. Is such an outdated word, but regardless, Cincy Fear definitely still looking for some opportunities here. Do have to obviously point out a huge pickup coming for Blaze. Does have that Guardian's Angel, and speaking of pickups, they're going to try and pick up that kill into Porsche here as well. A lot of damage coming up, but Porsche pretty damn tanky. The K gets dropped. Blasting them all in different directions. Gonna go ahead and start bouncing up and down
lost
here.
Chapter.
Yep. Oh, Lance rats it. Does get dropped. Though the crescendo as well to get him stuck under turret. And so ultimately, it's looking to me like Jace Kittens not gonna get out of this one because Sketch does too much damage. The tri-burst, it still pierces through enemies when to use the dash. And so ultimately, they do find that first kill onto Porsche. Looking to find that second one there onto Ryoma, but don't quite get it able to Valkyrie away. So instead, they're gonna look to just find that tier 3 in the bot lane. Look to get this inhibitor as well. Dragoon charging up that jump. Is he gonna use it? Nah, it was just that bait. That's a psych out to get you spooked. He had me for a minute there, but does need to be careful. Scoop does do still a lot of damage. Definitely don't count him out. If he can find something here, maybe they can do something. That Elder Dragon is up, so if Jake's Kittens wants to make some kind of comeback, now would be the time.
Oh, they are able to survive, but Elder is alive. Porsche has teleport. That could be influential. No body slam flash available for this fight. There's a control stuck into that Ocean Soul bush, but I think they're just going to burn it.
Yeah, I don't think they're even going to be fast enough for it. Already brought
Wait a
down to
minute.
4K health.
They went for the
Sketch
turn instead!
No way! They go for the turn, and they do find themselves that first kill onto Aaron, and that should be a guaranteed dragon as well. Then if they look to find a Sketch, still looking to find something near final chapter, getting dropped as
Here
well.
they
They do
come.
grab that, and now the massacre begins. They have Elder. They have the damage they need. They have the Fed carries. It's a split-up fight. Dragoon picking up 1. They pick up 2 in the backline. Meanwhile, they pick up the 3rd onto Porsche. And Scoop, last man standing, running for his life from Dragoon with some very nice chompers. But his time is numbered. Look at those death timers. Aaron, the only one left, only one about to be up with 15 seconds, while Cincy Fear closes in. Hashtag Fear Us is the motto. And if you weren't scared before, you better be now. Looking to find that first turret on the Nexus. Down goes that one. Boom, gonna go ahead and grab themselves 2 as well. Nexus is exposed, and Scoop knows there's nothing left to do. The Grim Reaper has come knocking, and he's taking your soul with him.
What a game, Echo. I know that one was a little bit one-sided, but Cincy Fear selling their stock in that one. My lord, the pentakill from Sketch comes through, and that final fight is just exactly what we talked about in Draft Echo. Jake's Kittens, they need to be able to do 2 things. Survive the initial engage, and then return enough damage to find the kills on the re-engage. They were able to do number 1. The Lamb's Respite, as you said, from Aaron was really, really good. But they didn't kill anybody. Blaze got out. He was the only one taken low. So then once all the cooldowns were burned, it was just a free Elder Dragon for Cincinnati Fear, and they were able to win in the follow-up fight. Incredibly well done. Now, I do want to call attention to something that I just got word from in production. Our team that was on a 17-0 run in open qualifiers, 100 Thieves Next, has fallen to area of effect Ginger Turmeric, meaning that a new team will be 5-0 in this OQ. We already are seeing some shakeups.
Damn, they really did that to him. Took it away. Their beautiful, like, perfect run. Just ripped it right out of their grasp. Definitely nice to see as well. And to this game, obviously, it's like you said, right, how they want to get on top of them. And that turn that you mentioned, right, that turnaround for that Elder fight, my God, it was just, it was so perfect as well, because they turned that Fog of War on. We didn't even see where Blaze was and the rest of the squad. And then all of a sudden, you just see him pop out of the bush like, hello, your fate has been sealed indeed. And now you're done here. They just clean him up off the floor with him. It was a pristine performance, really.
And I think that's the difference between good teams and great teams, because it's not about the decision to turn itself, but it's what that shows. Cincinnati Fear could have done the Elder, recalled, and then come back with their waves and try to end the game slowly. That probably would have been a safer play. But great teams push the limit time and time again. Cincinnati Fear, they pushed the limit. They found the fight right there. They ended the game right there.
Yeah, and with that, they have ended any of the naysayers that said that they were winning off of some kind of fluke. An amazing performance from them today. They are in indeed. That's their 3rd win, so they have secured themselves the spot. And we're going to go ahead and secure ourselves just a little bit of a break real quick as we come back later on for some Caster Cabana conversations where you ask the questions and we give the answers. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.